So today I'm going to be talking about everyone's favorite 2 a.m. guilty pleasure, fast food. And while we all have our own personal favorites, mine being Taco Bell, we all know deep down what that does to our bodies and how bad it is for us. However, when we watch fast food commercials, they almost kind of try to trick us, thinking that what we eat isn't so bad or it's kind of healthy. And I want to explain why that is because of three key reasons. That's legislation, the self-health awareness movement, and the rise of a new style of dining. So let's first take a look here. So this here is an order of Wendy's French fries, and I want everyone in their heads to think of an adjective how they would accurately describe this order of French fries, okay? How they'd honestly advertise it, okay? So Wendy's chose naturally cut with sea salt. So I looked into it, did some research. Naturally cut means literally nothing. People disagree what it means. Some people think it's about the skin left on the fry. Some people think it's about the chemicals they spray on it. It means nothing. Sea salt, I did some more research into that, and according to the Mayo Clinic, someone I trust way more than Wendy's, sea salt is no healthier than iodized salt, table salt. It's just normal salt. So Wendy's launched this whole campaign telling us about normal French fries, but they made it seem like it's this really cool, healthy product. Next is this McDonald's chicken sandwich. So everyone think of an idea about how they would advertise this. Get an idea in your head. McDonald's chose is my favorite, artisan. Now artisan by the dictionary means something that's often handmade in small batches or traditionally. And you and I all know that there's nothing about McDonald's is handmade, made in small batches, or made traditionally. So why are Wendy's and McDonald's doing stuff like this? Why are they trying to portray themselves as something they're not? That's because they are kind of losing money. However, I do want to phrase it that they made $198 billion in industry last year, so it's not like they're bleeding money. But for a couple reasons, that they'll have started to incur losses, and their growth has kind of been slowed. And that is for three reasons. First is legislation. So the U.S. government actually has tried to kind of curtail the effects that fast food has on us. Since in the last 60 years, according to the CDC, that our obesity rates have actually tripled. So there have been some monumental laws. First was in 2006 and 2008. New York City banned certain trans fats and oils from their fast foods. You can't use certain margarines and oils anymore. In 2010, San Francisco temporarily banned Happy Meals because they didn't follow certain calorie and sugar restrictions. And also in 2010, the LA mayor banned fast food restaurants from opening in South LA, which is the area of the city with the highest obesity rates. Here in 2016 in Philadelphia, they passed a soda tax saying that restaurants couldn't serve sodas above certain size without being taxed. That actually is going to bring in $91 million annually for the city, which is going to be spent on schools, parks, etc. So all these kind of legislations kind of put fast food into kind of like a pigeonhole where they kind of either have to adapt and change the way they advertise and act, or they're going to have to incur more losses. Next is the self-health awareness movement. And that is starts with the foodie movement, and we've all heard about foodies and millennials. That kind of started in the 1980s with kind of like British journalists. And back then, like winning a James Beard Award for cooking was just like winning a Heisman Award or an Emmy trophy. That it just made you really cool. And cooking now is really cool. That millennials dominate the market. Over 50% of U.S. adults regularly watch cooking shows. Over 70% of U.S. adults regularly buy food for themselves to cook at home. And this kind of shows an overall shift away from dependency on restaurant food and fast food that we've had for so long. Finally is this rise of what's called fast casual dining. You see there Panera Bread, Shake Shack, Chipotle, all stuff like that. And that really got popular in 2007 and 2008 with the downturn of the economy, whereas people's disposable incomes were a lot lower. They had less money to spend on like real fancy restaurants. So they went to places like this where it's kind of in the middle between fast food and normal restaurants. So then when they had more money again, they realized like, wow, this is cheap and pretty good, so I'm gonna keep going here. So these places have kind of boomed and kind of taken money away from fast food. So why am I telling you all this? Why am I warning you of this weird advertising and stuff you should be scared of? Because I'm just trying to warn you, because you know that there's nothing natural about those French fries, there's nothing artisan about that chicken, that you should really try to stay away from it at all costs. So next time you're like housing a Angus triple pounder or natural French fries, just know that I warned you that it's probably not what you're eating. And if it feels like it's too good to be true, it probably is, okay? So finally, we are going to rename the products we had initially. Okay, so those Wendy's French fries. I went through and I thought of some more accurate names that I think are a little more honest. Wendy's all new, totally normal, nothing new, salty French fries with about 100 calories per ounce. I think that more accurately gets across the picture that it's normal French fries with normal salt, and that you're just like a new product of an old version. And my personal favorite is McDonald's. Literally the opposite of artisanal and the same number of calories as that sloppy pile of meat we call McDouble grilled chicken sandwich. Now again, I think that more accurately gets across that this is a normal piece of chicken that's not that healthy, even though they're trying to tell us it's artisan or handmade or handcrafted. So everyone, I'm just trying to warn you. Thank you.